Morning, Nick.
Morning, Simon. How are you?
Ready to do some four-wheel driving. Now, it's been a while since we've been up in this area, but who knows the tracks better than Nick Manell? What have you got lined up for us?
We're going to head about 2.5–3 hours north up into Barrington Tops, and there's some awesome four-wheel driving up in there.
Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of four-wheel drive detail on this map.
Yeah, look, we use the maps as a reference. A lot of the information is up in here. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Let's hit the tracks.
Sounds good to me. We're coming up here for a great 3 days where I'm going to be the trip leader and take Simon and the crew around. I've got my 200 series here, which is really well set up for touring and playing.
Nick, you've done a bit of driving up through this area. What can you tell us about it?
It's a great area. We're a couple of hours north of Sydney in the southern side of what we call the Barrington Tops area. There's a bit of everything up here. It's really good.
And Jimmy, you get dragged around behind Nick on a few different trips.
I do, done this one several times. Really looking forward to it again.
I'm up here today in my 2016 Hilux, which has been, as you can see, pretty well kitted out with the ARB gear. Plenty of memories up here. That's what full driving's all about. Hopefully these next 3 days we can make a few more of those.
The small group, but we've got varying skill levels across it.
I have no four-wheel drive experience, but today I'm going to be taking out the Dmax. Simon's been nice enough to lend us his car for 3 days. Hopefully we can bring it back in one piece.
And Nick, you haven't done any four-wheel driving before, so if you need anything at all, just get on that radio, give us a bell, someone will be there to help.
I will.
With that in mind, look out for the other guys.
Yeah, 100%. We'll probably put Nick number 2 in the middle so we can assist from behind or in front if we need to. He's got a standard vehicle. We've got the modified ones that are equipped to do this job, set up to do this job, so we're probably better off having him in the middle so we can give him any support or help he needs. Jimmy will be certainly good at the back to look after Nick, and if there's anything that needs to be sorted out, he's more than capable of doing that by all means.
Today I'm going to be at the back of the convoy with Nick in between in the Dmax. We're just positioning ourselves with Nick in front, me behind, so if a situation does arrive, he feels comfortable, you know, there's someone in front, someone behind. We can discuss it over the radio and just make sure there's no dramas, he feels comfortable, and at the end of the day, everyone's safe, which is what it's all about.
Nick, this is looking sensational. What can we expect?
There should be some great forward driving up here. We've been up here a few times before. We're going to have some gravel roads, some rocky roads, and we'll end up down in amongst some of the gullies. Down in there, there'll be a couple of river crossings. Some are on causeways, some are just direct through the rocks in the river. There is black mud, there is brown mud. If there's any little bit of moisture or rain, it'll be really slippery, and that's half the fun up here. There is some good rutted hills and some hard stuff as well. I don't know we'll get through to that, but that'll be part of the adventure.
All right, Nick, what do you reckon for tyre pressure?
I'm going to drop mine to about 24 for this stuff, and then we'll readjust it later on. If we find something that's a bit harder or a bit slipperier later on, we might re-look at it and go even lower again.
Get the valve off. This here, the outer brass fitting is screwed on. So we're going to unscrew the valve from the internal shaft. And you can basically control the airflow. Slide that back in nice and gentle. Do the valve back up. Let's go and do another one. And what are the key reasons why we drop our tyres?
So what we want is we want a wider footprint and a better contact area on the ground. It does less damage to the tyre, it's more comfortable in the car, and we're not going to damage the tracks we're on.
And it improves traction.
Certainly does.
Let's go and get dirty.
Filled with anticipation of what the next few days will bring, the convoy loaded up and headed towards the Barrington Tops National Park to take on our first big challenge for the day, a steep, rutted and rocky hill climb.
It's been a little while since we've been out here last, definitely a bit drier. It looks like there hasn't been any rain for a little while, but nonetheless, you know, we've got beautiful surroundings, we've got good company, so we're having a really great time today.
So definitely today, being second in the convoy, we've picked up a lot of dust. So I think we're going to have to check those air filters just to make sure they're not going to clog up on the journey, and just give everything a good look over and make sure it's right to go. We've been travelling through some dusty conditions over the past day, and these cars are built for it. There will get some contaminant in the air filter, but hopefully it's doing its job. But you can have a look inside just to make sure you're not getting any contaminant bypass and everything's working perfectly. Just because an air filter is dirty doesn't mean you have to replace it. Most people don't realise that a lightly dusted filter is going to be working more efficiently. So as it builds up with contaminant, it's able to trap more contaminant, making the filter more efficient. But there's going to be a point where the filter becomes too dirty and too restrictive to the engine. You can check your air filter just to make sure it's working properly and you're not getting too much dust into the filter and it's not clogging up. What you want to make sure is the filter's doing the job and it's not getting dust into the intake or the clean side of the filter. It's pretty easy to access your air cleaner on your four-wheel drives, and anybody can do it. So when you do go to changing your air filter or inspecting your air filter, there's a few clips open up. You're going to have a dirty side and a clean side. You want to make sure there's no contaminant bypass through that filter onto the clean side, which is going to be the outlet tube into the intake. So when you remove the dirty filter, be mindful not to get any of that dust or dirt into the intake. That is going to be problematic, so be very careful. Take a damp cloth, wipe down the sealing surface. This is crucial, and wipe down the clean side of the housing. Make sure you do this in a timely manner. You don't want the airbox exposed to the environment for any longer than you need. It's also worthwhile while you're in there looking at your filter, make sure to check all the intake ducting, make sure it's in good working condition. No splits, no damage, no openings. It's critical that the air cleaner is the only point the air can get through to the engine. That's what it's there for. If you're going out on any four-wheel drive trip, it's a smart practice to carry your air filter, your fuel filter and your lube filter. So why not just carry a whole kit that will have all your range of filters for your vehicle in one handy kit. If your filter is dirty, if it is damaged, or if it is wet, it needs to be replaced. And that's why we recommend taking a spare on any four-wheel drive trip.
Unless you go driving in those deep holes and put it in the silly spot. So as long as you pick the easiest line for the car to keep out of those holes, if there's any bouncing or anything, keep it constant. If it starts rooting around and bucking, you want to back off, and then we'll back up and reassess.
Looks like the start of a good track, Nick.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's fairly long too, so I think that back was going to slide in then, but it didn't. Oh, there's a fair bit here.
It's plenty dry, there's plenty of traction.
Yeah, Isuzu's he's going alright actually, behind us.
Doing a great job, Nick, keep it up. Where we are now, Nick, you probably want to pull up on the flat section just behind us. Wait for us to go through and I'll jump out to give you a hand, mate. Nice. Well driven, Nick.
It's good.
I'll get up on this flat section. I'll go back and help Nick.
The Dmax up.
Hold it there, Nick. We'll be coming back in a sec.
Will do. Thanks, Simon.
Where we are now, Nick, you probably want to pull up on the flat section just behind us. Wait for us to go through and I'll jump out to give you a hand, mate. It's going to slip off.
Yeah, well, you can come up here.
You see how powder it is?
Are you going to guide him or are you going to...
I'll guide him.
Alright, Nick. I want your driver's side
modified tyres on this line here. It's a bit thin, we're going to be fairly accurate, so I'm going to need you to watch me and not necessarily watch the track. Just keep an eye on me and we should get you up no problems at all.
Okay.
Okay Nick, nice and slow, let's creep it up.
Nick and the Isuzu did really well. He followed the instruction. He's been grinning so much. He's got a sore jaw from having such a good day, which is good to see. He went really well.
I was in good hands today, getting guided up there by Simon and the lads. A real achievement for myself, I think. But yeah, it was great guidance from them. They were super handy, super helpful, and you know, they just know their stuff.
Nick did really well, taking it fairly easy, obviously being his first time. Definitely the cars with the suspension, the Hilux and the Land Cruiser, tackled things a lot easier, but nonetheless, you know, we all got together and we got the Dmax through.
I think at the moment I'm a little overconfident now. Yeah, it's really good. It's a really great feeling to get up some of those hills because you just think you're not going to make it at all.
How are you feeling now? Has the heart rate slowed down?
No, it has not even begun to slow down.
Jimmy's a natural, we know that, so there was no problems there at all.
Took a couple of different lines just to sort of make it a bit interesting by popping those wheels in the air, so hopefully it made for some good footage. On this trip, we've seen the track conditions change quite a bit, and it really got me thinking how important suspension is. Now, it's not the easiest thing to see, so I've just parked my Hilux up here just so you guys can have a look. Fitting an aftermarket suspension kit has a number of benefits, not only from increasing ground clearance, it improves the ride, especially on some of these terrains like we've seen this trip. On top of that, it can be tailored to suit the vehicle and the accessories that are fitted to the vehicle. On my Hilux, I'm running the Old Man Emu BP51. Now we're going to have a closer look at it, but as you know, we've done quite a few muddy tracks, so I'm just going to give it a bit of a clean. The BP51 is unique and very different to a lot of other suspension products on the market. Some of the key features with the BP51 is the adjustable preload and ride height adjustment. In addition to that, it also features adjustable compression dampening and rebound dampening, so you can really tailor the ride to suit, you know, how you like the vehicle to feel or the weight and load of the vehicle. The BP51 has a 3-year, 60,000 kilometre warranty, so in the unlikely event, if something does go wrong, you're covered. On this trip, I've been able to enjoy all the benefits from the BP51, from the added ground clearance to the way that it's just absolutely eaten up all the bumps and the corrugations. Having that extra ground clearance and the suspension has meant that I could take a few different lines. In particular, the standard vehicle wasn't able to go. And on a lot of those gravel roads, you can't even feel the bumps. It absolutely just handles it perfectly, resulting in a nice, smooth, comfortable ride in the cabin. At the end of the day, I'm hopping out of the car, I'm nice and comfortable, I haven't been bouncing around, you know, I don't have a headache or anything like that, so that's one of the reasons why we fit suspension like this.
Convoy rolling.
Do it.
It's come to that part of the day. We're done with the dirt, we're done with the off-road, we're nearly back at the bitumen, so what we're going to do is inflate our tyres. A lot of people talk about deflation and letting them down and why you do it, and we all know that. But to get home safely and quickly, we want to put our tyres back up to road pressures. That's pretty simple when you've got a good quality compressor. What we offer is 3 different compressors. One of them for air locker activation only. Then we have a middle one, it does air locker activation and will pump your tyres up. Then we have the twin version as well. It's for the real serious guys or the big tyres. Out of the two bigger compressors, we also offer those in the portable version. This compressor is going to enable us to pump our tyres up from the 24 we drop them to for the off-road use up to 45 in about 1.5 minutes a tyre. It's pretty quick and it's pretty easy to use. At that kind of rate, with a good quality compressor, I'll have these 4 tyres done in no time. We've got the Isuzu with us as well. There's no onboard air or portable air there, so we'll knock that one over as well. You're not limited to just pumping your tyres up by using one of our compressors. All of the compressors will do a number of other jobs as well, all your recreational things. You can pump up tyres on your motorbike, you can pump up tyres on your dirt bike, you can pump them up on your Bobcat. We have different fittings, you can pump up soccer balls, air beds, all sorts of things. If you get a vehicle mount, we can run air lockers. These compressors are Australian made, they're quick, they're easy to use and they're reliable. There's nothing worse than standing around in the bush for half an hour trying to pump your tyres up or having to drive at a much reduced speed to get to a service station safely so you can then pump them back up and head home. Get a good compressor, get it done on the spot, get home safely and don't think about it again.
With our tyres inflated, we were homeward bound and ready for a restful night after a huge day of off-roading. But our trip leader couldn't resist the temptation of one final location. And with the beginnings of a golden sunset encouraging us onwards, the detour was sure to be a fantastic finish to our day.
We've had an awesome day today. It's just after 5 o'clock and the sun's about to go down. We've probably got 10 minutes worth of light left if we're lucky. We finished up this afternoon at Mount Allen. We've ended up at a lookout. Got this awesome backdrop behind us. It's just amazing. It's been an unreal day.
The day's been absolutely amazing. My jaw's a little sore from grinning ear to ear. First four-wheel drive experience, I think I did pretty well. Dmax has performed brilliantly. Surprised that it got up some of those hills. Felt safe the whole time and a real pleasure to drive.
With what we've done today, I mean, it's a prime example that you don't necessarily need to have a lot fitted to your vehicle. The Dmax, which is essentially a standard vehicle, was able to do everything that we were. At the end of the day, we all made it to the same point and got there safely.
It's actually getting quite cold now. Well, cool anyway. This morning when we started off, it was 28 degrees. It was absolutely divine, and now it's actually under 10. So it just shows you how quick it can change and how you do need to be prepared for all those situations. It's just spectacular, the view, the colours and everything that's out here. Get out and see this great nation.
Places like this are so special that, you know, sort of make us want to get out here more often.
Looking forward to spending more time with the boys over the next couple of days. Can't wait to see what we've got in store.